lesson is on the composition of transformations. And just like in English, a composition means a putting together of things. So our composition of transformations is going to be a putting together of more than one transformation at a time. So if I go in and write the actual definition in plain and simple terms of a composition of transformations, it's two or more transformations performed one after another. In the first question, you are asked to find the image of A after you complete this composition of transformations, a reflection over the x-axis and a rotation of 180. Please note this symbol that you see in here that sort of looks like a multiplication sign, except it's open. That is the symbol for composition. And what it means is that you are to work on this composition in the reverse order. So in other words, this is the first one you're going to do, and this is the second. So it matters the order that you work in. So according to these directions, I am starting with point A, which has coordinates -3, 2. I'm rotating at 180 to give me A prime, and I'm going to come up with those coordinates. And then I am going to do the reflection over the x-axis to come up with A double prime's coordinates. So those of you that remember the rule, this is going to be a lot easier for you, because the rule for a rotation of 180 is negate the x, negate the y. I'm applying that to this point, negate the x, negate the y. And then I use that A prime point and I continue on with it, doing a reflection over the x-axis. The rule for that is x negative y, which means the x stays the same and the y gets negated. So my final answer for this question is that my A double prime will be the point 3, 2 after I've completed that composition. For question 2, it's the same idea. We have that composition symbol. We're going to do this reflection over the y-axis first and a rotation of 270 second. So when I do this, I'm starting with point B, which is 1, -7. I'm doing something to B, which is a reflection over the y-axis, getting B prime. I get those coordinates. And then I am doing another transformation, a rotation of 270, to get B double prime that has another set of coordinates. So again, if you remember the rule, a reflection over the y-axis is -x comma y, and you apply it to this point, you'll get -1, -7. And then when you rotate 270, the rule is y negative x. So it's going to be -7 negate the x 1. And this becomes my answer for that particular question. So those are two very simple questions. We're going to go ahead and do one that's a little bit more involved with question 3, where they actually have us plot a triangle and do a composition on it. So in question 3, they're giving us a triangle, ABC, and they give us the coordinates. So please plot those points. -1, -1. B is -6, -3, and C is -2, -5. So here's my A, B, and C for the points. So I'm going to connect those points and make my triangle. And then it tells me, after I have my triangle drawn, that I am supposed to complete the composition on that. So when I go through to complete a composition on that, I notice that I've got the composition symbol. That tells me that I do this part first, and then I do this part second. So the first thing that I'm going to do is a point reflection through the origin. So when I do my point reflection through the origin, I need to have my new triangle A prime, B prime, C prime performed on these points, reflection through the origin to create the new triangle. So I have A prime, B prime, C prime that I'm going to find. And when I do a point reflection through the origin right here, the rule is negative x, negative y. So I'm going to apply that to the original triangle. So I'm going to have 1, 1, 6, 3, and 2, 5. And these are the coordinates of the prime triangle. I'm going to plot those. 1, 1, negative 6, 3, and 2, 5. Here's my C prime, B prime, and A prime. I'm going to connect those points to make a triangle. So now that I have the second triangle, I have to perform another transformation on top of that that involves doing a translation of negative 6, negative 1. So when I do that translation of negative 6, negative 1, I'm going to be doing that translation on this triangle here. So when I go through and do that, I'm doing translation negative 6, negative 1, which means I'm doing minus 6, minus 1 to the triangle in blue, and I will be creating the triangle in red. So I will have A double prime, B double prime, and C double prime, minus 6 from all the x's, minus 1 from all the y's. You can go point by point, or you can do minus 6 on top of each of these and do all of those at once. So that'll give me negative 5, 0, negative 4. And then go back and do your minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 for all your y's. So this will give me 0, 2, and 4. And then I'm going to plot those points. So I have negative 5, 0, 0, 2, and negative 4, 4. C double prime, B double prime, A double prime. I'm going to connect those points to make a triangle. So in this particular case, our first triangle was here, and the first one created the second, and then the second triangle is what created the third. So it was kind of a run-on composition. The first makes the second, and then the second makes the third. We should remember that in all of these cases that you're seeing here, because there's no dilation, all three triangles should essentially be the same size. I'm moving on now to question 4. And in question 4, they tell us to start with the original triangle that has coordinates A 2, 1, B 4, 1, and C 4, 3. So here's A, here's B, and here's C. I'm going to connect those points to make a triangle. In this case, your composition symbol is missing. If you take a look at the way that this is written, there is no composition symbol. However, there is an alternative way to write composition. The alternative way to write a composition is, instead of having the composition symbol, you can have nested parentheses. So we've got the parentheses here around the triangle, and then we have these parentheses here. And the rule is you always work with the innermost parentheses first and work your way out. So essentially that means we'd be working here first, and then we would apply this at the end. So I could, if I wanted to, transpose this into composition symbol notation, which would look like this, if that's easier. It means exactly the same thing. You just have to be able to work with both of these interchangeably. So according to our composition symbol, we know that one of these we're going to do first, and And in this case, that's going to be our rotation of 90 degrees. So with our rotation of 90 degrees, we need to have a prime triangle. It's obtained by taking the first triangle and applying the 90-degree rule to it, which is negative y comma x. So I'm going back to the original points that were given, and I'm doing the negative of the y value, keep the x the same. The negative of the y value, keep the x the same, and right on through. So my coordinates for my green triangle, the second one in the composition that was obtained by doing the rotation of 90, is A, negative 1, 2, B, negative 1, 4, and C, negative 3, 4. So C prime, P prime, A prime. And again, I'm going to connect those points to make a triangle. And you can see that this triangle, ABC, has rotated 90 degrees to give me A prime, B prime, C prime. In addition, I now need to move on and work with the next triangle. And in the next triangle, I know that I am going to be doing a reflection over the line y equals x. Now, some of you may remember the rule for that, some of you may not. If you don't remember the rule for a reflection over the line y equals x, the rule is that you're going to take the y and the x and you're going to change places. So I'm doing that to all of the coordinates in the green. I'm going to get A double prime of 2, negative 1. Simply take the negative 1, 2 and change places. B double prime, 4, negative 1, and C double prime, 4, negative 3. Plot those points. 2, negative 1, 4, negative 1, and 4, negative 3. Here's A double prime, B double prime, and C double prime. I'm going to connect those to make a line. The 3 lines connected make the triangle. Just as a reminder that if you are doing a reflection over the line y equals x, it's always helpful to know where the line y equals x is, and we've talked about this before. The line y equals x is the line that can be written with a slope of 1 and a y-intercept of 0. That means you're going to 0, 0, y-intercept up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, etc., down 1, back 1, and you will have the line that passes through those points. So you could connect those points with a line, and that would be the line that you have reflected over. That also means that if you were to fold on that line, your 2 triangles, this second one and the third one, should match up completely. So please remember that with today's lesson, there are 2 forms for composition. One is a set of nested parentheses that can be rewritten with the composition symbol, and one is using that composition symbol. Either way, you do the second one first.